Hey,
And you see her?
what kind is she?
She's a Dachshund Chihuahua,
Okay, my son has one of those.
and she is turning 14 on Friday.
Okay.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I
I'm very
know.
proud.
I
Yeah.
know.
She's my emotional support dog.
Good, good, good. Well, how you been, kiddo?
well, this past week has been a bit emotional for me.
What's going on?
The owner of the company I work for out of Georgia sadly passed away of cancer.
Oh,
uh, Gave it a valiant fight. He really did. This has been going on for a few years. And unfortunately, he wanted to pass away on his farm in Georgia. So they medevaced him to the farm, and he was there about 4 days.
oh,
So Sunday, I drove to Georgia, left here, it was 85 degrees, got there, it was 44.
oh,
And almost within 12, maybe not even 12 hours, sinus infection,
oh.
coughing, sore throat. um, but the service went well. Um, Give me one sec, guys. I'm sorry. Never a dull moment here.
Oh,
Um, so yeah, so I fought a cold. I still have a little bit, so if I start coughing, my chest is clearing. I will say that I'm very thankful to the protocol because it's actually made my sinus healing a
great,
lot quicker than what it has in the past.
great.
Um, on a not so positive note, my parents declined care for the 4 days I was gone.
Oh,
Yeah. Uh,
uh,
I even brought up that, what the neurologist said, the possibility of, some type of independent living. And I was told that is never going to happen in a tone that I haven't heard in a long time. So they spent 4 days. I did take my animals with me because my dad left the door open one day. My 16-year-old
sure.
cat got outside. I called when I did a day trip to Orlando, and he forgot to feed my animals, and they're both on medication. So, I reached out to a larger scope of family members
Right,
recently, and they said sometimes you just have to be okay with knowing that that's what they want to do. Which I understand what they're saying because they also had to care for their mother at one point, and she was denying care for a period of time until it became obvious that she just couldn't anymore.
right.
So I'm in the uphill battle again. Uh, for me, it kind of is what it is. There's, the neurologist said, yes, there's cognitive decline in both. Your father has taken the Alzheimer's meds, which is holding him. It's the short-term memory loss. I mean, this is the medication list. This is what you need to do. These are the eye drops. And this happens every single day.
Right.
And so, I mean, I came home. The house wasn't burnt down. They were still well. But it doesn't, you don't turn it off, even if
No,
you're not here.
right. It's a worry. It's a worry.
It is. So even if, I was away staying with some family members while I was going to funeral arrangements and services, it's still in the back of my mind.
Sure.
So, I called every day just to check and see how things were. And of course, everything was fine.
Right.
Everything is always fine. That is the answer. We're good. Things are fine. Um, but, in a perfect world, I'd like it to be a little bit different.
Sure. There's no perfect world.
I mean, I'd take, I'm still hopeful that something might shift, but at this point he was very stern in his thoughts and is not interested in any type of outside help. So it's, I've been, other former caregivers have said, you do the best you can. You still need to go and do what you need to do.
Right.
And I'm starting to feel, okay, well, I have a trip coming up in January to go see my daughter and my grandson and my son-in-law, and I'm going to be gone a little bit over a week. So she's cleared it for me to bring my dog and my cat because I can't leave them unsupervised.
Sure.
I will let my family members know I'm going to be gone during these time frames. I'll check in once a day. I'll see if they'll check in a couple times a day. But it's one of those things. It's really hard for me to wrap my head around this. And maybe you guys can help me with this. What do you do in a situation where you're pretty much talking to a wall?
Right now, for those that will watch this in the future and watch us now, just bring everybody up to date. Our friend Jennifer is a caregiver and a live-in caregiver, and has been the caregiver and supervisor and referee and transportation and really everything, boots in the ground for both mom and dad
Mhm.
for how many years now?
Going on 3.
Going on 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So in that course of time, there's been a lot of time.
Yes.
And the situation is that, well, just bring people, bring us up, bring a couple people up to date, just kind of the overall broad look at the world there.
I had 3 years ago stopped. I came to visit. I lived in Georgia, and within my week visit, I noticed that there was a lot of forgetfulness, a lot of chaos in thoughts and conversations, and I decided that it just was not okay for them to be left in a space by themselves. And I'm talking. It's not that my parents aren't clean, but it could have been a little bit better. And my mom is now legally blind due to one bad eye injection that took her eye. The other eye has stage 4 glaucoma. So the eye doctors and specialists have claimed her legally blind. When I started here, mom was walking on her own. She has broken her femur twice in the same spot. Over the course of my time here, she used to use a walker to get around. She is now using a wheelchair only. So, and she also has cognitive decline. She just turned 80, but it is more progressed than somebody of her age. Then you have dad, who also has cognitive decline. He is currently on 2 Alzheimer's meds that seem to be, per his neurologist, holding him still and not progressing further. But short-term memory loss is rampant. So much so that even when he talks on the phone, you ask him a pointed question. Do you know when they're coming? Who were you talking to? What did they say? The answer is, I don't know. So, I'm the cook one time a day because they like to do their own breakfast and lunch to the best of their ability. I cook dinner, I clean. We're slowly moving into the phase of my dad needs some assistance with paying bills on time, and making sure that there's enough money in the bank account before scheduling a payment. and that I only laugh because it's been an ongoing battle because my dad used to be in finance. So the fact that the finance guy is struggling is unbelievably heartbreaking for me. But I also can see how frustrated he gets and how, they've both kind of crossed into that land of being antisocial, family and friends. Anytime you bring up that there's a death in the family, the extended family, my parents talk about it with each other out loud, but they do not engage with the loved ones that that it's affecting. So there's a lot of things going on here.
Right, and that's a recognizable sign of what's going on is that
Mhm.
withdrawal from social settings and things. And yeah, I know we just since our last time or during our last time, Mom had her 80th birthday party. How did that go?
It actually went really well. We had some her older brother, his wife, and then his wife's sisters. Mom loved every minute of it. I made sure she had on, her tiara, lots of balloons. So she had a really good day. We're gearing up to go to a big appointment because I think I mentioned before, Mom had been in the hospital twice within a month and a half, and this last time it was low hemoglobin, and she went in, hemoglobin was 6, and then when after 2 transfusions and an iron infusion, she was at 8.3. They say it can take up to 6 months for all that blood to do its job. We see the hematologist Thursday, and Mom has just been falling asleep at the table again. Blood pressure has now started to spike every other day, like 162 over 100. It's very erratic, and I think a lot of that has to do right now with she's afraid of the hematologist. Mom is afraid of white coats, but has a lot of them, and has not been taking our system like she was. So I noticed the decline again in the memory when she stopped drinking the tea. She still does her half packet of fiber. That's like the big thing for her. She wants to do the half packet of fiber every meal. But the tea was stabilizing the headaches, was stabilizing a lot of the joint pain. She's just not in it anymore.
Okay, so the headaches and that's coming back. Have you noticed that?
Headaches, not so much, but the body pain for sure.
Okay,
The lack of energy, the lack of motivation, the mental clarity is definitely back to where we were.
okay. Now, when going forward to your trip to your holiday trip, let's call it, to your daughter,
Hmm.
your grandchild, that week, is your brother going to come in at all, or anybody else, or are they just going to be alone on the prairie at this juncture?
At this point, it's probably going to be a lone prairie.
Okay,
Um, they specifically said they didn't want anybody.
okay,
So the best I can do is have all their pill boxes put out, all the eye drops ready, sheets that can be written on, sheets that can be crossed off. Dad did much better this time. He did
did
make
he?
sure he gave all the eye drops. Mhm. I only put out the enough eye drops for those 4 days, so it made it easier to keep track of what he did. Now, the one thing is I have 2 eye drops and 2 different vials, and I even have an example pointing to it. Goes in this eye. This one goes in both. So, with the names, the colors of the caps. I mean, it was.
Right,
I brought it down so far that there wouldn't be a way to,
right. You've made it as child friendly as you can.
Thank you. Yes, I wasn't sure I wanted to say that, but yes, that's exactly what I did.
It has that simple, and then
Yeah.
then we just trust what will happen, and we go from there. So you're doing great. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you, kiddo. You're doing great.
Thank you.
And now, are you doing any support groups online at all or anything else like that? Have you had time for any of that yet?
I have not, but I am making a stronger effort to reach out to my uncle and my aunt,
Okay,
who are about 30 minutes away, along
good.
with a sister that was a former nurse. Her husband was a former EMT. So I've been asked, I've been divulging more to them as a group. And they were here for the party, and they did ask. I did tell them what was happening. I told them where I was going.
Good.
They are very supportive. They know that one of my family members is a little more stubborn than the other. It's
Yes.
a running joke.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing once I got over my fear of sharing what is going on inside the house. And I didn't realize I had that until I was looking them in the face. And I said, I am doing the best that I can. I don't know if I'm doing it right. But I'm doing the best that I can to make sure that they're well cared for. And the comments were, we're really impressed. You threw this nice little party for your mom. Everything was tidy. And I said, I work really hard. Plus, I mean, that's one job. I have a remote job, and I also have another job, one for myself. So there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for change at this point. So,
But yeah, how's your change going? You're looking great. Are you?
Well, thank you.
You're doing
Gosh, I
good,
feel like
yeah?
it's been a million years since we've talked.
I know it has been.
Well, I'm still down 31 pounds. My body has found its weight. It's found its space it wants to be in. My mental clarity is still good. I'm still not back on any of my meds. Like I said, my sinus infection is snapping its way out the door. The coolest thing for me, I dealt with mouth issues for 30 years. Inflammation, extreme sensitivity to hot and cold. And this last time I blew my hygienist and dentist out of the water.
That's
Because
great.
I didn't need any ointments. I didn't need any lidocaine shots, which I would get all across the front. And I didn't need any big ones. I literally sat there and they kept asking, "Are you sure you're okay? You're not jumping out of your chair." And I was like, sometimes amazing things happen when you work on the inside of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the most, I mean, I was laughing because they were, I do deep cleans every 3 months. And they're like, "You don't feel any of that?" And I was like, "Well, I know you're in there." I mean, isn't this what it's supposed to be like?
Right.
So how is your sleep? How is your sleep?
Oh, my sleep is phenomenal. I used to deal with insomnia. My brain wouldn't turn off. And when I hit the pillow, because I've been working on not watching Netflix before I go to bed. I don't succeed most days, but I try. But when I do, it's like my circadian rhythm grabs my attention because I'm thinking about it and I'm breathing. And next thing I know, it's the next morning. So I actually sleep a little bit deeper when I'm not in front of my phone.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah, 'cause I'm leaving my phone in the office. It's
Mhm.
not in the bedroom.
I do too when you're here.
Yeah, and so that's good. I mean, that's a difference. That's a difference maker. It really is. So I'm
Mhm.
glad to know that you're taking care of yourself and continue to take care of yourself, because that would be another discussion that we would have, my dear.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do know this, sir. And I will say that for me, if it wasn't for the protocol, if I look back 3 years ago till today, I am much more clear on my mission with my parents. I'm more proactive with the doctors. Not that I wasn't before, but I feel more clarity. I have more questions when I go in. I provide more information because it's not as scrambled in my head anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, my energy. I'm trying to keep up with you guys.
No, I don't know. Lately, mine's been.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up
Hers
with
is
yours, let
down
me
is
tell you.
because she just got done doing, I don't know, like 150 pounds of Chex Mix and what, 10 pounds of candied pecans or something. Oh, and peanut butter balls. And by the way, in the last 24 hours.
You go, Cheryl.
Yesterday I thought, I hate looking at this stuff. I hate smelling it. I did so much Chex Mix yesterday. It's like, oh God. But I give a lot of it away, neighbors, and I'm cutting back this year though.
Yeah, and truth be known, the Chex Mix that stays in the house is carbohydrate free. There's no sugar in it either. So there's no sugar, so there's no carbs, so there's not. Oh well, okay. So
There is a
lot of fiber. A lot of fiber though.
Keep thinking that, honey.
I was like, now
Trying
wait
to
a
convince
minute.
yourself.
I don't know that I believe all of this coming out.
I
of his
tried.
mouth.
I tried. There's a lot of balance going on. I can tell you that. A lot of balance. And she celebrated her 80th birthday, and so we got all that in. So all good. All good. Plus bunches of inches of snow. So it's really good. And going through a lot of things with brain fog, and I'm just talking real quick thing about brain fog. Yeah, Chopper. I tell you what, we've got literally nuts on what's that called?
No.
Nuts on Clark. Those big tins. Chopper. She's got four of those.
Three
Large canisters. So come on down, buddy. You're only about an hour and a half out, so they'll be sitting here for you, buddy. And anybody else that shows up. But
and you're
Carol, do you mail? Carol, do you ship?
Do I what?
Do you
ship? I don't want to come to the cold.
No, I have to send some to my granddaughters in Florida, and my daughter's driving down, and her husband and her.
We might get something sent down to you.
Well,
that's possible for Christmas.
I need to have pecan pies for her to take down, and even my granddaughter, one that lives in Florida, one of them that lives in Florida says, "Don't tell Mom, but yours is better than hers."
Oh.
Now you didn't say that on a live broadcast. No, I didn't. Here, not at all.
Wow.
But going through just real quick, looking at one of the you in Alabama, Jennifer is in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, down that way. So that's where she's at. And we're Chopper. We're over here in Illinois. So. I thought you were in Chicago. I thought maybe you're not. But anyway, so let's talk real quick thing on Alzheimer's and dementia, and looking at brain fog as one of the precursors, and it's affecting younger and younger people. And a year ago, isn't it amazing? It was just a year ago for me, right? A little bit over a year ago. My blood sugar was just out of stratospheric levels. Frankly, in shock that I'm alive. Now that we look at it more and more, how that we're here, I can have a conversation with you guys is beyond me, because my fasting blood glucose was 834. With an A1C of 18.1. That was a 20-hour fast. And I was just at a national event this last week, and a lot of doctors, a lot of other health professionals, people in charge of metabolic, nutritional, dietitians, people that work and specialize in diabetes, had never heard of anybody with such a high number. And by 600, people are out of here, comas and cardiovascular and that. So Now that I know that, I understand why one day I made 5 trips one house away to the stop sign and came back because I forgot the phone. I mean, how many times have you forgot the phone or keys or something? I went out and I forgot my phone, so I came back. And I forgot my briefcase, had to come back. Forgot my food, had to come back. Forgot a drink. I forgot all the reasons. I forgot all the reasons. Mm-hmm. But, and then the more I look back, there's times that you remember I was concerned enough one time that I said, what did I say?
That if you thought you were losing your memory, then you would just leave.
Yeah.
He didn't want me to be a part of that.
I would, while I was cognitive, I was going to go off to a mountain and be work as a fish bait guy or something. Just, I was going to say, no, I'm going to not do part of that. And so, yeah, I was scared. Yeah, and I've forgotten, and I love to sing, and I, go along, and I would be going, and I forget words. Which were songs and I would go like in my head, I was like playing Wheel of Fortune. I know there's an R in there somewhere. I was trying to pick a vowel or something. It was stress, but it was also the diet. It was a modern day food environment. I was totally out of control. Just totally out of control. And so now more and more we find, and the evidence is finding, the research is showing more and more every week. There's things about how we are starving our brains because of what's called insulin resistance. And even while ketones are one of the preferred energy sources of the brain, if glucose is so rampant in the body, and mind you, we only need a sugar cube worth of sugar in the body at the whole time. That's amazing. Just that's all we need, that little itty bitty bit. And you look at one soda that people drink, and there's 7, 8 of those in that bottle, in a cup, Jennifer, in there, or something like that. Just like insane amounts.
Yeah.
And people will go to the the soda dispenser with gulps and gallons, and where does that go? And then they wonder why they go to the bathroom constantly. I mean, I just went through and I did my symptoms a little bit more in more detail, and I was up to 69. There's a whole bunch more I didn't remember, but of the 69 I put down on the block, there's 53 of them that I had. Now that we know what they are. And the ones I didn't have irregular menstrual cycles, PCOS, my ovarian system problem, but those types of things. So, guys, those are real. Yeah, they are real. And I don't have those issues like that anymore. I've checked most of them off. Skin, it's something as simple as skin tags, for goodness gracious. And I looked at the picture of me, and I'll get it posted from when I swam. I got out of the pool, and I went and I looked at my back.
Oh, it was horrible.
My back, I wouldn't go anywhere and not have a t-shirt on. At least swimming, I'm a swimming coach, and when I'd have to have a shirt on. I would travel with my own towels, because so many people, you go someplace and they have white towels, and now I'm staining them with blood yuck. The sheets in their beds, I'd wear 1 or 2 shirts trying to not leave marks, just because of how bad and scarred it was.
Well, he had almost like they'd start out as a pimple and just get bigger, and then they'd finally pop. And he's got terrible scars on his back from it.
And Did the skin doctors say anything? Oh, they gave me some gunk. Honestly, God, they gave me some gunk, Jennifer, that was like calamine lotion and some other crap. They charged like $20 or $40 a bottle. It was goop, and it stained through t-shirts and sweatshirts. It was horrible. It didn't do nothing but give them a profit line. It maybe dried my skin up, but it didn't fix the thing. And they said, hey, listen, we could cut off those skin tags. Well, that wouldn't have done anything. We'd cut them off because they would have grown again because of the chaos inside. So, yeah. So these things are all things that are going on in my mind, and how I know that that's affected my mom. And your sister, I mean, Cheryl's had it. For those of you, we'll just go a real short thing here. Just talk about her sister here. And I'll break this out right there. So right there, this is Cheryl had an mirror identical twin. They are mirror twins, guys. And what's that mean, Cheryl?
Well, usually one's left-handed, one's right-handed. I've always been right-handed, but my sister was left, and they realized that when she was like crayons and stuff like that. So in those days, they would force you to use your right hand instead of your left, which she was right-handed then. But mirror twins, sometimes they have different organs on different sides of the body. And it's really weird to explain. I don't understand it myself, but we were so alike, we would finish each other's sentences. We had our own language. My late husband said to me one day, "You guys are mumbling." I said, "Don't worry about it. We know what we're talking about." But no, we were always together, always. I could feel things when she was going through them. She was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's when she was 54, and she died when she was 61. And that was the biggest shock of my life. And actually, I knew what day she was going to die. I just knew. That's how close we were. I was looking at pictures. I was going through some photo albums this past 2 weeks because my nephew, my sister's son, who was adopted, he was saying that he didn't really have any pictures of he and his mom when he was little. So I was going through some of my mother's, I made me force myself to go through my mother's stuff. And I have tons of pictures in my basement. I wouldn't even know where to start. But I was going through my mother's stuff, and she had an album. And then I asked my niece, my sister's daughter, if she had any, and she brought me like 4. And I saw some pictures. I mean, this was a very, very emotional thing that I had to do it because I wanted my nephew's daughters wanted to give them to him for Christmas. But it was so emotional. I was a mess, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I was a mess.
Well, you're a perfect mess.
Anyway, I was looking at some pictures somewhere of when my sister and I went to Washington, D.C. for the Alzheimer's convention. And my sister looked good there. Although she wasn't functioning fully, I'd have to help her pick out things to wear. She's in the lighter color coat. And then I saw other pictures as she progressed through her disease. She did not even look like the same person. We didn't even look like twins anymore. It was really upsetting for me to do this, but I was very impatient with George. I was a basket case because that's all I could think about. It just brought back horrible memories, I guess, that I've tried to forget. I told George one night, I said, I don't think I've really ever grieved.
Yeah, and that's part of the truth. You really haven't. And of course, and part of the point here too is, guys, this is the holiday season. Okay. It's a stress season. It's a high cortisol season. You're going to have memories like this, people that you're missing, people that you don't want to be missing. Cheryl is awesome. She every year she does the wreath for her family, her mom, her dad, stepdad, sister, brother, and husband, deceased husband. And we went out in the winter in the snow. I had a shovel and put the wreaths out there for that. We'll go back later in the spring. And she is the matriarch and in essence the patriarch of the family. And with this twin sister, when Sharon's issue happened, she really hasn't really dealt with it. She really hasn't. So this is very important. This where it's important for Jennifer to be able to have an out and share in that. It's important for Cheryl to have an opportunity to get things out too, because that brings things up that need to be out there, because you don't know why sometimes things happen and where you're at.
Well, with my sister died and my husband died 5 years after that. I lost both my parents. My dad died 6 years ago. My mom died, it'll be 4. So I've lost all those people in just a short period of time. And I try not to dwell on it, but it just going through those pictures, I don't know if it's a good thing for me.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It doesn't feel like it at the time because the feelings are so big. But just know, Cheryl, you don't have to do that alone. You know, we're here, even if, you know, I've called people before in the moments I'm having, and just to know somebody's listening, whether they can see my face or not, and literally I'm crying the whole time. Sometimes I just need to know that there's a voice there, just somebody there. You know,
my kids don't know. I mean, I hide it from my kids. I put up the big front.
But you got me.
He's probably ready to leave me last week.
No, never. You're too awesome. So the fact of the matter is that one of the things we want people to know is with this time of year, there's a lot of stress, and it's healthy to let things out a little bit. It's helpful. One of the things some people will say, I got to be strong. For what? I mean, for what? The thing to do is give yourself permission. Give yourself permission. If you need to go outside and scream.
One day I got up in the morning. He wasn't even here then because he was in Vegas. I just started screaming at the top of my lungs.
See, you gotta exhale. One of the things that happens in grief is that we need to exhale when someone passes. And you just went through this, Jennifer, and I can't even tell you how many people we've got going on that have died, and friends and cousins and just associates. You have to exhale. Everything right away is logistics. It's logistics. It's logistics because we choose to use that as a distraction, because we can hide behind it. Well, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. At some point in time, you need to grieve, or things will happen you don't even know why. So you need to give yourself permission. And I'm glad that you did that. I'm okay that I wasn't here, because I would have wondered what I did wrong this time. But I've nothing else. I'm a good comedian for you, right? But anyway, guys, being a caregiver, just like Jennifer is, just like my niece is, you have to have respite. You need to have an out. You need to be able to let some things go. And that is really true. And so I'm proud of Jennifer, and because we get to hear and see how things she's doing, but we can also see sometimes when you're having an issue, when you had a stressful week, and you do reach out during the week. You've got a family of I don't know how many there are of us out here that actually care about you.
Yes.
And, and Keith's one of the good ones here. Keith's always ready.
Oh, that man calls just to check in to make sure, like, even when I was traveling.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Just making sure you're well on your way.
Yeah. So it's that kind of thing. So we have that. And it's important to have that kind of thing where you can at least have a touch in and touch base. But that's really how this works. That's really how we do things. And when we talk about Alzheimer's, we talk about dementia. It's not, and yeah, you're right. Just with your family, Jennifer, sometimes it's a quiet thing. We don't tell anybody. It's almost shame. It's almost a sign of weakness. You know?
There is a little bit of that. And I think that kind of ties in with grief, and Cheryl, I just need to commend you for being brave enough to share with everybody tonight about that, and admitting that there is a possibility that you hadn't gone through all the stages of grief. And what I've learned is that for myself, grief doesn't really ever go away.
No, it doesn't.
It's just, it comes in a different form.
Right.
And it may not be as intense as it was day one, or it may still be as intense as day one, but I mean, I am so proud of you. So brave of you to share that with us.
Yeah, because people in America, we have this game show mentality. It's hit the button and go, hit the button, go, hit the button, go, hit the button, go. But grief, no matter how it comes, where it comes from, it rolls and it returns. It could be a song. It could be the wind. It could be a shirt, a cloth, a smell. It could be a picture. It could be a piece of food. It could just be, I got no idea where it came from. And I know for myself, I'm having a hard time grieving for my mother, who's still with us. She's 96. But I know I'm going to be a mess. Because I've known her for 74 years. That's all I know. And that's going to happen. I know that's there, but that's an adjustment that I understand getting to. But I'm able to talk about it more now. I tell you, the protocol that we're on Um, I've never cried as much as I have as an adult male since I've been on this. Right? I mean, I'm always ready to. I'm I'm a sensitive guy anyway. I'm not Mr. Callous, but and I can read people well and anticipate them fast without them saying anything. I can see it and I got it. Okay, I know it's So then I'll approach to find what's going on. Yeah, I tell you, Chopper. I mean, Keith's story and his family and what he could, just like me, I could be. I a year ago with my numbers, I shouldn't be able to talk to anybody. None of my grandkids, none of none of you. And that's and it's avoidable. I mean, it was avoidable. I didn't have to, but I was addicted to all the watermelon and whole milk and sodas and Dr. Pepper and just eating and eating and eating, and my brain was going and going. I mean, I could have gone that way. And Chopper, twice you were in a coma and coded in 19. Yeah. See, what was your reason, Chopper, for were you diabetic for the comas? And what was your number? I was 834 with an A1C of 18.1. If you're higher than Matt, that'd be great. Okay. 13.7. Yep. That's high enough. 478. That's high enough. So he was half of me, and he was out of here. So, yeah, we are here for a reason. All of us, we are here for a reason to help. I mean, if you don't know Cheryl, yeah, and didn't even know you were diabetic until too late. Yeah, I get that one too, buddy. But even Cheryl, is on the protocol for health, just to feel better, and knowing what she knows, it's going to be stronger. It's good. It's helping her, and then the nuance that tell me your.
Okay. So I had a hysterectomy in 2016. It was just preventative because my Pap just hadn't been good for quite a while. And I had a few procedures before that and nothing seemed to be happening. So no cancer or anything. And so every 6 months since that hysterectomy, I've had to have a Pap test. So that was 2016. So 2025, this past spring, I had a Pap test and it was good. It was clear. And I go again in January for my next one, hopefully.
Now, let me just make a look. The first one that was good in 9 years. Yeah, it was okay. What? That was the first one in 9 years. Girlfriend, what is that? That's just not blasé. And that's after 90 days on the protocol. 9 years. 90 days.
Well, I guess I'm so used to having them. It's just like, here I go again. See you in 6 months.
I love it. You guys, this is awesome. But no, so there's so many different things that come along. I mean, there's the dramatic, there's the things that we never even think about. I never knew, seriously, like Keith and John's ulcers, foot ulcers. I mean, okay, fine. I didn't have one of those. Gosh, I don't feel like I missed out. I don't have that, and I didn't even have that symptom on the board. But guys, I mean, this is just, it's amazing what we have our hands on and what we can do to help people, because we've all been helped differently. Isn't that amazing? The same formula,
Yeah.
the exact same formula, doing different things for different people at different times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Keith dropped 108 units of insulin in 2 days. Others drop differently, different slower. Foot ulcers come, go sideways, weight come, go. Some of us gain weight and lean muscle mass. Others, it's all about going the other way. The inflammation, the brain fog, bleeding gums, toe funk, acne. I mean, the whole systems and symptoms. That's one of the things they're working on is that there are 12 systems. There are 12 systems in our body. That's what it consists of. We start looking at endocrine and exocrine and that. Not to be a science geek, but I asked Gemini to come up with 12 different insulin-resistant symptoms related to each system. So that's 144. And we know about what, 10, 12, 15 of them? There's 144 insulin-related things that it came up with. And we know there's 100 autoimmune.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even go that route. It's phenomenal. So anyway, I just wanted to say that I've got Dr. Bickman's lecture on the boat and was on metabolic health, on insulin resistance and dementia. And I'll get you that copy. If anybody else wants a copy, I'll get that out. But we are working to bring information to the world about there is hope. Mm-hmm. There is hope. And there's always love. There's always care. And there is this mental thing that we call dementia, that we call Alzheimer's, that people laugh off, whatever. The fact of the matter is, it is being shown more and more and more that it is reversible. It is preventable. It is not inevitable. Mm-hmm. And yes, Todd, insulin resistance is linked to dementia, period, in the story. It's called, in most parts of the world now, it's actually labeled as diabetes type 3. Mm-hmm. It's listed as diabetes type 3. And so it has, because understand, insulin's everywhere. It's the issue when people say insulin is what everybody thinks diabetes. Well, I'm not diabetic. I don't have to talk to you.
That's what I used to think.
There's not a cell in the body that it doesn't affect. There's not one cell, there's not one system that it doesn't affect. If you don't believe me, use your favorite artificial intelligence source and check 2 or 3 of them. Use chat, use 360, use 365, use Gronk, use Gemini. They all say yes, they're related. They're all related to insulin resistance. Dementia is just one of them. Even in Dr. Bickman's book, Why We Get Sick, he says, and he lists, he says, in increasing prominence, we are focusing on learning more about Alzheimer's than ever. By older theories like plaques, tangles, or losing ground are discoveries of metabolic origins of Alzheimer's, including insulin's key role, are presenting new and better approaches to the detection and treatment, and then goes into vascular dementia, Parkinson's, Huntington's, migraines, neuropathy. All right there. Yeah, Todd. There is a lot to learn. And that's one of the great things about what we do and our group does. It's all about education. Mm-hmm. It's all about being open enough to unlearn, to relearn, and to be current. And we're blessed to work with an organization, a company that's what that's about. I mean, Dr. Bickman, Dr. Paul, Mindy Peltz, Jason Fung, just to name a couple, all on board, and they're the prominent ones in the world. They are the leaders of the science and the research, and they're not paid by Big Pharma. They're not paid by the American Beverage Association. They're not paid by the Green. They're not paid by Nestle's, Frito-Lay, Mars, or anybody else. They're not paid by Bristol Myers or Squibb or whoever else is out there. They're not paid by those guys. So they're all doing independent research. And that's why I think I'm going to look to try to create by the beginning of next year on Fridays. I'm going to do at noon. I'm going to do 3 shows a week on noon. Wednesday's going to be a cooking show. So I'm not going to cook every day because we have way too much food when I do that. Cheryl goes, don't make anything. So I made sauces one day just so I wouldn't have food. But oh my gosh! But the point is that I think on Fridays I'm going to do the noon show on Fridays Central Time is going to be all about Science Geek. This week in research. This is what has been found in the metabolic space, because there's so much coming out, and I think it's even going to be more and more rapid with more and more AI, the ability to search, research, do broad studies, and bring in all of the mega data from all these places. So I'm going to look to pull that and do about an hour show, just geek out. And these are and not be anything, but here's the information. This is who did the study, where the study was done. This is the group, and not saying, "See, I told you." See, this just proves. No, here's the data. Here's where you can look up the study. Go look it up on your own. But this is what the abstract says. So I'm looking to add that to our arsenal. So guys, I love you. I love you. I love all you guys. I love you all. Jennifer, you know I love you.
I love you guys too.
So we'll get together. We'll see you Sunday. And I should be back from Florida. What time do I get back?
6:30 at night, I think.
Okay. It'll be close. So I'm going to be in Fort Lauderdale, or not Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to be down in the Tampa area.
Okay, you're on the other side of the state.
Yeah, the other side of the state. Yeah, I'm going to be up. I'm going to be above the swamp to the other side.
Nice.
For a couple days. So I love you. You're doing well. I'm proud of you. Jennifer, I'm proud of you. Cheryl, you did great today too. I'll kiss you later. Oh, I'll kiss you.
I love you both. I know, but you have to do the customary kiss to close us out. I mean, that's just what you do.
I love you, kid. Thanks for coming on.
See ya.
See you guys later.
Bye for coming on board, Todd and Keith and Chopper and everybody.
Karen Harper was on.